Hello, everybody. I'm here with Jackie Freidman, one of my favorite people in the industry. Jackie, I know how busy you are. I know you're just getting off connection too, so I just want to thank you for your time and talking to me today.
Always my pleasure, Dan.
So I'd love to get some of your insights on sort of the travel advisor profession in general. And I'm curious, compared to when you started your career, in your mind, how do you think the travel advisors are perceived by sort of the general public today?
That's a great question. In fact, this year I'm celebrating 40 years in the industry, and I started as a frontline agent. That's what we were called at the time. And what I did back then is completely different from what the advisors of today did. I actually worked in an office that was in an office tower. And I remember, especially on rainy days, a lot of the folks that worked in that building would come in, they'd browse brochures, and we would get really busy. But back at that time, a lot of travel was booked with your local travel agency. Marketing was window displays, that were provided by suppliers, and if you were lucky, co-op ads in the Sunday paper. But sales and order taking were probably two of the most important skills that a travel advisor could have. The frontline advisor really did not have to worry about driving new business. They almost always worked in the office. There were what we called outside sales agents, but they came into the office when they needed to issue a ticket or pick up documents. So again, a very different environment. So fast forward 40 years, and today's travel advisor is an entrepreneur. They wear multiple hats, some of them on the business ownership side, marketing, accounting, others on the travel advising side, still others on the problem resolution side. So it is a much more complex environment enabled by a number of things. Number one, technology. When I started, I hand wrote tickets and then did some very early paper tickets. Today, that's not necessary. So again, my hat goes off to today's travel advisors that just have to balance what I like to say, working on their business and working in their business.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm coming up at about 10 years working in the travel industry. And like you can correct me if I'm wrong, but my perception is that I guess when you mentioned when you started 40, almost 40 years ago, it seemed almost mandatory that if you wanted to travel, you need to go to a travel advisor or a travel agent back then.
Yeah.
And I know when I came into the industry, the talk was always that the online and OTAs are stealing business because people can do it on their own DIY. But that seems to have shifted back to the perception of 40 years ago. Like I know the consumers I talk to now, they seem to feel it's almost mandatory or it's obligatory to use a
Yeah.
travel advisor. I was curious if you feel the
I,
same.
I completely agree. Um, I think a number of things happened. Coming out of the pandemic, I think consumers became more aware of the value that a travel advisor provides. Those that had booked directly on their own didn't have that travel advisor in their corner navigating a very complex environment, getting refunds for them, getting things rescheduled, just being their champion and their advocate, which was a time that was not fun for travel advisors. I can certainly say that. But what did come out of it was an appreciation. I remember saying to advisors back then, it might not feel like it now, but the investment that you are putting into being there for your clients, putting their interests first, empathizing with their disappointment over canceled trips is the best investment you can make in the future of your business. And I hate to say it, but when I check in with advisors, they all let me say I told you so, because that surely did happen. It also resulted in referrals from those customers to others that had not worked with advisors before. So we're definitely seeing a shift of consumers working with advisors just because time is of value. And all the things that they said that were going to make travel advisors obsolete, commission cuts, the internet, now artificial intelligence, all of these things, when used properly, forced travel advisors to reinvent themselves. And frankly, I think they came out better on the other side of that reinvention.
Yeah. And I know like we talked a little bit about the demand for travel advisor services, and I know some of the advisors I speak to, the conversation isn't built around lead generation right now, simply because the leads are sort of taking care of themselves. But I'm curious, I speak to a lot of Nexion agents, a lot of them are doing some really incredible things. Where do you think travel advisors are finding new clients now? And are there any areas that advisors who maybe are just getting into the business and trying to build a book of business could concentrate on or could consider to build their agency?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. And I agree with you that when talking to travel advisors, especially those that are a little newer to the business, one of their biggest challenges is finding and keeping customers. So in terms of finding customers, first and foremost, when talking to advisors, their number one lead source in many cases are referrals. So we encourage that they make themselves referable, that they ask for referrals, not just when a client gets back, but even throughout the booking process. I've seen advisors very successfully turn one booking into 2 or 3 or even 4 by encouraging clients who have booked a trip to have others come with them. So referrals are certainly one. In terms of lead generation, there are a number of programs out there. Nexion and Travel Leaders has their agent profile, where an advisor can build a really robust online profile that can focus on areas of specialization. And those that take the time to create a great profile are getting good quality leads, really focused on their areas of expertise, the business that they seek, that they really want to grow their niche, whatever you want to call it. So that is happening. Another thing that is coming up, and I want to just change hats for a minute and put on my ASTA board chair hat, is ASTA is coming up with an agency finder. The tool is still yet to be named, but it will enable verified travel advisors, so those that complete that certification with ASTA, to appear on that site, which is just another opportunity for them to generate new leads. Other things that we see that are happening, more and more advisors are getting comfortable with social media, and the channel that they choose really depends on the demographic of their clientele. We really encourage them to be on the right platforms based on what they're looking for. But it's just a way for them to generate interest and drive those folks to their website, or to even have them contact them. But having a good marketing plan that's diverse is really important. Getting out there in your community, finding ways to share your expertise, all of those things are part of a marketing plan. And then for those that are newer to the industry, I always tell them to get to know Frank. So you may not know who Frank is, but Frank is friends, relatives, acquaintances, neighbors, and kids/clubs. But it's a great exercise where you ask them to, take a blank piece of paper, write those 5 letters across the top, and list potential customers that they think could be good fits for their travel business, and have them reach out to those, let them know what they're doing. But it's a great way for someone that starts off not having any customers to really take some intentional thought and determine who they could go after.
Yeah, so that is the first time I've heard Frank as an acronym. So I really appreciate that. And yeah, it seems to be gaining trust seems to be the most important thing, whether you do it on social media, whether you do it through a referral. Gaining trust seems to be the biggest thing, particularly when people are taking sort of a leap of faith by investing their time and their money with you. So I think those are all great points. Jackie, I don't want to let you go with just asking about, I know you just wrapped up Connection. I know things are constantly updating and in flux with Connection. Any updates you want to share with the audience about what's going on in your world?
Absolutely. So we just came off a very, very successful conference, and some of the things that created buzz at the conference. We talked about some of our new marketing programs. We have a very talented marketing team, and they launched 2 new programs this year on top of everything else they're doing. One is the Marketing Expert Program, where advisors can work one-on-one with a coach to ensure that they're taking advantage of all of the various marketing tools available to them, to recognize them for completing training, for signing up for different programs, for really capitalizing on the wide range of products that could really help them do what we just talked about, which is acquire new customers and retain the ones that they have. We also started a program called The Lab. Very often, especially advisors that are newer, they want to work on branding. They may need a logo. They may need help creating social media posts, reels, what have you. And so The Lab is a program where we have our team of creative folks working with advisors on projects that they may want for their business. There's a small nominal charge, but definitely less expensive than what's out there in the market. So whether it's a simple logo creation, just branding in general, those services are available. And we continue to launch different social media toolkits that they can use. So this is on top of our already robust marketing program. On the business development and education side, a couple of new things for this year. In May, we are launching our first cruise sales summit. It'll be in the Port Canaveral area, and it will be great for folks that want to focus on building their cruise business. It'll be a nice complement to some of the larger conferences out there like Cruise World and Cruise 360. They'll have a chance to see some of the latest ships. They'll get great content. They'll meet with suppliers. They will really talk about strategies and tactics to grow their cruise business. And of course, we will continue into year 2 of our marketing mastermind and our business planning mastermind. These are 3-day events that are really focused on that business owner hat that advisors need to work on. And then finally, we're doing a real refresh of our Agent Mate booking and member portal platform that will enable us to do a lot more with that. So more to come there. But those are just a few things that we announced at our recent Connection conference.
All right, well, awesome. We'll get links to that below this video and then in our emails too. But I just want to say, Jackie, I know you're on the road. I always love speaking with your agents. I always love speaking with you. So thanks so much for taking the time and sharing some of your expertise with us.
My pleasure, Dan. I feel the same about you guys. You put out great stuff.
All right, great. Thanks a lot. We'll see you soon.
Bye.